Hello and welcome back to the On The Slab Horror Show, the show that we bring to you each and every Friday night. Why we do this on a Friday night? Because Friday night is horror night. And as you can see here, I have two returning guests tonight, both making their second appearance on the show, both involved in the same film that we had two interviews with the last time, in Children of Sin. This is the writer and director and actor, Chris Wesley Moore. How are you, sir?
I'm pretty good.
And then we're joined by actress Meredith Mohler. How are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
Chris, this is your newest movie,
Hmm.
When the Trash Man Knocks.
That's right.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about this?
Well, it's about a serial killer in a small town in Mississippi named the Trash Man. He's named that because he kills people and sticks their body parts in trash bags and hauls it around to try to make the perfect family. And he disappears 20 years ago. He disappeared, and nobody knows where he's been off to. And all of a sudden, he just sort of resurfaces. And a mother and son who were witnesses to his previous crimes, who have been traumatized for the past 20 years, start to kind of come a bit unraveled when they hear the news. And they have to kind of stay and fight to the death if they're going to ever get over this as the body count grows and he starts to go through the town with his little trash bag.
This one, obviously, you kind of know what you're getting, and it's
Mhm.
it's there, it's in your face, which is a completely different style, obviously, from Children of Sin. And I thought it worked really well. Obviously, there was a bigger cast for this one as well,
I think so, yeah. I
by
think, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
by maybe
had to have
three or
been.
four.
Yeah, because I mean, Children of Sin really was basically all the kids at Abraham House
Hmm.
and then like
The
two other
parents.
characters back at Emma and Jackson's house. And so that, yeah, I mean, it was a smaller cast. Yeah, I guess this one does have quite a few more little characters
Yeah.
kind of
There's,
popping up
there's, cer-
here and
there's
there.
certainly more of a character build anyway,
Hmm. Absolutely, yeah.
between obviously all the friends.
Hmm.
Um, and then obviously Meredith, you star as one of the final girls, as
Paige.
usual. As
Hmm.
I said in
As usual.
our previous show, it's certainly going to be a feature that you're going to have in your career.
I would love that.
That's not a bad thing to have, is it? I'm a final girl
No,
in
I'm the
almost
final
all
girl.
my
That would be
movies.
Good.
really cool. Yeah.
Pretty neat.
I was just gonna say you
How
always have
much
to
you
be
got?
your biggest fan, your own biggest fan.
Oh, your biggest critic, one or the other.
Both
Or
normally. And one does
definitely
speak louder
both.
than the other. For me, oh, it was a blast. I mean, working with Chris is always a blast. I mean, at this point, I feel like we just kind of have a bit of a rapport and understanding, like, hey, this is how it's going to be. Let's do it. And same thing with working
Absolutely.
with Joanne. I didn't get to work with her as much in this one, but she is also a joy to work with. And most of my scream time was scream. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, well.
Time was shared with AC. Her last name is Weeks, I think. Yeah, AC, and she's just great. I mean, we're pretty good friends now, and so anytime I work with her, I know that I'm in good hands. Really, everybody in this is kind of like a film family to me. So anytime I'm pumped and I'm ready to go work because I know it's going to be a good environment.
So it's going to get to that point in your life when Chris has his next movie. You won't even have to read the script. It'll be just like, yeah, I'm in.
I mean, like, kinda, yeah.
It's sort of at that
Like,
point now where it's
Yeah, I'll
just
say
like,
we're
okay,
kind of
here's the
there.
script. I wrote this part for you. You want to do it? And that's
Yeah,
pretty much it. Like,
I'm
or
always like, yes, thank you.
obviously the success that Children of Sin had prompted a big role as well for yourself in this, and obviously it's well earned. I think the role you played in this was far more out there than the other one.
Oh yeah, it'd be a great word.
Uh,
Paige is as much out there as you could be. That's what I was
yeah.
going for.
I what way was the character described to you when when you read it or when Chris told you about it?
I think it says in the script that she's very, very colorful and I may be ad-libbing here, but like outspoken, and I don't know if you said wild child, but that's the vibe I got.
Yeah, it's definitely the vibe.
That's
I can't really
that's
Yeah,
remember myself actually, but that sounds about right.
yeah, yeah. I just remember the word
just
colorful was in there a bunch. And I was
Yes,
like, I
yes.
don't know if he means in looks or personality, but yes.
well, the outfit definitely has some color to it too.
Oh
Oh my
yeah,
God.
that was a combination of our pieces, Chris, the
That's
80s
true.
outfit.
That's true.
Oh, I loved it. It looked way better than it had any right to ever look.
I know. I kind of
Like
loved
that was
it. I was
actually
like,
kind
this
of
is a
cute.
really, it's a nice look.
It was definitely colorful. It was colorful to
Oh
say the
yeah.
least.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
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 Paige makes a
Um,
splash, she's
That yes. She's there and you know it. You see her
hmm
coming with all that neon.
Absolutely.
Obviously, the movie is centered around family, as you said, that are tormented by a memory that turns back to reality. So very Halloween-esque, in certain ways. So was there any movies that kind of inspired this?
I mean, certainly Halloween. That's the number one. Um,
Any slashers is some way involved with Halloween, uh,
oh yeah.
to an extent.
I mean, you kind of have to. I mean, it's the sort of the granddaddy of them all. I mean, I guess you
Yeah.
could say Psycho before that, Black Christmas to some extent, but Halloween is the one that kind of really set the
Yeah.
mold. Um, and then besides that, I mean, yeah, there's all kinds that I love. I mean, I love Prom Night. I love Final Exam, and like I there's so many. There's so many. I think
100% it's worth.
I'm trying to think if there's anything. I mean, a lot of Dario Argento films, Deep Red and stuff like that, and Tenebrae. There's a whole scene in the film that's directly inspired by a scene from that movie. Um, yeah, I mean that's kind of the basics, just all the classics, Hitchcock movies, and the
The best way.
sort of movies like that kind of I don't know what the politically correct term for this is these days, but it was the movies that came out after whatever happened to Baby Jane that had women usually over 40, over 50, kind of just going through some sort of psychodrama stuff and losing their minds. And so a lot of the stuff with Caroline is sort of based on those kinds of movies. They would usually have someone like uh, Betty Davis or Joan Crawford or Shelley Winters, like the straight jackets and the hush hush sweet Charlottes and stuff like that.
I mean, I got it when I watched it this afternoon. I got a very trauma movie kind of feel off it.
Oh, well, they're
Obviously,
usually a little more kind of over
para,
the top.
yeah, they're more paranormal, but obviously there's some aspects of I find of trauma movies now where you see people start to go what they think is insane,
Oh, okay.
and it certainly for me came across that way. Obviously, till later on in the movie, as that's what was happening. I was like, she's just losing her mind here,
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I took it as I took her as a little bit of Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka, where she just didn't want to leave the
Really?
house. The way he doesn't like. The way obviously she's had an accident and she just doesn't leave the house. Then
That is
uh,
gonna make me rethink Willy Wonka completely.
Grandpa Joe is the biggest character villain ever. He's
Well,
a
I mean,
dick
he's
that
hiding
sat
the
in
fact that
bed.
he can walk. I mean,
Yeah, for
He
years.
sat in that bed for fucking 40 years or something.
I think
Lazy
Caroline
boy.
has
As soon as he gets the gold,
as far as I know, I don't know a lot about the Grandpa Joe backstory. I did read the book when I was a kid. I don't think it went into it, but I think Caroline has a few more valid reasons to not leave the house. But Grandpa Joe, yeah, he's a bit of a
but
tool.
yeah. So obviously she takes advantage. Well, not takes advantage, but she has everyone doing everything for her, waiting on her hand and foot in a way.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I like in the two.
Yeah, it's it's
Obviously,
Yeah.
it's it's a little bit of a manipulative relationship in some ways. I mean, I think, and that was sort of the balance I was trying to find was, how far can we push this before she just becomes like a complete, like she becomes the villain of the film.
Hmm.
Because she's controlling her son to some extent, trying to keep him safe, but also trying to keep herself safe, trying to make sure she's not alone, and sort of handicapping him at the same time, if that's a word. Is that even a word? Handicapping? I don't know if that's a
I
Yeah,
think
word. I
it
don't know.
is. It sounded like a word.
I don't know. But maybe I made
that's
up a
it.
word. I don't know.
If it's
But
not, we're going with it.
why not? It worked. You get what I'm talking about. So she's kind of just sort of unloading all of her stuff on him and kind of trying to keep him still kind of a child. I mean, because he had to take care of her basically since he was 13. He had to become the parent. And so he hasn't really had a chance to live his life. And so she's kind of kept him in this house, and he's trying to break free, and she's still like, no, we want to be safe. And so yeah, I can kind of see where you're going with the grandpa Joe thing.
He manipulates everybody in that house.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, funny what you mentioned it that way, that she's like controlling him. Obviously, we were talking about Scream offset, off screen.
Hmm.
Um, I find the Carpenter sisters, obviously Melissa Barrera's character does that to Jenna Ortega's in it. She pretty much hamstrings her
Hmm.
to doing
Right.
everything she wants to do. So it's
Hmm.
very similar to that, but obviously in a parent situation rather than uh, than sisters.
Right. I mean,
I had
it's
to think of
it's
the word
it's
there. I
a
was like,
it's a trauma response. I kind of
Oh, absolutely.
wanted to showcase how two people who have gone through the same horrible incident kind of cope with it in very different ways. They're both very unhealthy ways, but they're different in their own ways. I mean, Caroline isolates completely, doesn't see anybody for the most part. And a lot of that is because of her own mother, who basically told her, you cannot go outside. You're not strong enough. There's no way that you're going to make it, because her mother wanted to control her. So she'd have someone to take care of her. And now that her mother's dead, Caroline's kind of turning into her mother, but with Justin, and kind of trying to
yeah,
keep him there. So it's this cycle that keeps going. And then of course Justin's just like, he's just trying to not even think about it, but all of a sudden,
he's
once this comes back, the memories start to come back. He has to deal with it at some point, or else he's just going to keep running.
you can't run forever.
Exactly, exactly.
Um, Meredith, what was it like? Obviously, in Children of Sin, you're pretty much the main focus throughout the movie. What was it like to be sort of secondary in this one, but obviously you are in it quite a lot? Um, because the way I was watching it when I was watching it today, I was like, I know she's in this movie, but it's like 25 minutes in, and I still haven't seen her yet. I was like,
Um,
um, are they
it
going to
was,
have her as the killer?
hey, we've never done that before. Um,
Hint, hint.
it was, I honestly hadn't really thought of it that way. I guess it was probably less pressure. I mean, I still did a lot of the same stuff I did for Paige. I mean, for Emma. I didn't keep a diary for her like I did for Emma, but I did make like a playlist because she was in this 80s cover band, so I knew she was very passionate about her music. So I had like a 8-hour page playlist of like 80s hits with like alternative stuff I thought she would like Paramore. Um, but I also just really dug into her sense of like self and style more than focusing on being a secondary character. I thought, she's here to stay and make a splash. So I guess I didn't treat it really much differently. Didn't feel much different.
So obviously the homework was done. As you said, you made a playlist. And I mean, it's a very simple thing to do because obviously there is a scene where she's in the band and they're waiting.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, it's a good way of doing it. And just that's all you had to do really, and then just show up.
Yeah, made a playlist, try to get into her sense of style and quirkiness. The way she speaks is actually a lot like the way I talk in like my personal life. Very foul-mouthed and tries to seem funny. I don't think I would have an affair with a married man, but beyond that, it
Well,
was a lot
never,
of
never say never.
I'm gonna say never, but Um,
Um,
but yeah, it was
I
just,
mean,
trying to find the things in myself that I could relate to her with, which is what I do with any part. You
well,
have to understand them like they are you.
yeah, you become that character.
Absolutely.
So, on set, then, do you stay in character when you're not on scene, or will you go back to being you?
I'm not quite that method. I guess it comes from the theater training. I turn it off as soon as I'm done. Like, in theater, once you walk off this, a lot of us, not all of us, some people are extremely method, but a lot of us, once we're off the stage, we're back to us. And when we're on the stage, we're not even thinking, like, let's say I'm Paige on stage or in a movie, I'm not thinking Meredith thoughts. Meredith is gone. But I need to get her back easily. So the best way to do that is to turn it off as soon as the scene's over, or I can get stuck. And I've definitely done that before.
It works too. Chris, is it the same for
Mhm.
you?
It usually is. This one was different, I think, because we were shooting. I think we started around this time last year shooting. It was in March, like early March, and we didn't really
I realized
complete
that.
until I think it was late May. So it was a very sort of scattered shoot. So with Children of Sin, it was about a month altogether. With this, it was about 3 months. So I I had a harder time trying to shake the character because it was like a constant thing. He had to be in my head at all times, and he's such a depressing character. So I found it, I found the whole experience making the film to be a little depressing because of that. Everyone else, like
That's
nothing
fair.
went wrong. Everybody was on time and knew their lines. It was great, and there were parts that were really fun. But just knowing, like, okay, tonight I'm going to shoot a really fun scene with Meredith and AC, but tomorrow I have to play this character who is having a mental breakdown. And it was like that was always on my mind, even as I was just, being just a director. It was always there. And so I think next time I'm gonna sort of try to figure out a way to not take it home as much because that was not as much fun.
You were in
Yeah.
the middle of Michael Douglas falling down moments.
It was, yeah, I mean, he was losing his mind and not in a graceful way, if there is a graceful way to lose one's mind. But
Yeah.
it stuck with me for some reason. And I mean, the character I played in Children of Sin was just as depressing in a sense. I mean, he was really going through some horrible stuff too. But I think
Hmm.
because that was like, I think I shot on that movie for like 2 or 3 days altogether as an actor. With this, it was like over half the shoot was me.
Yeah,
So that was sort of different too. I couldn't just be like, I'm gonna come in here for 2 or 3 days and then it's gone. It was constant. So that was a different experience for me. That was the first time I think I've really had a hard time trying to shake it. So I have to
fair
keep that in
enough.
mind the next time. I'm gonna play a really positive character the next time.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
see
not so
now,
depressing.
the next movie is going to be Chris, bubbly as hell and killed inside 2 minutes.
Yes, but it'll be a musical. It'll be fun for the whole family. I don't know. Could be neat.
I'm not going to lie to you. I probably
We're
won't
doing
watch it if it's
Gypsy
a musical.
again.
Musicals aren't really my thing, Chris. So you might be
Oh,
down if
but
you were.
but
Oh, that's
this
a
one, I
shame.
don't know. This will be the one to get you. I don't know. Maybe.
Um, but like, there was I'm not going to give spoilers away as to who dies, but let's be honest, it's a horror movie. The title says that he chops people up and puts it in a bag. Chris has also said it. People do die. There was some really good kills in this.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I really enjoyed some of them, and I'll tell you off screens which one I did enjoy. I'm not going to say because I don't want to spoil it because it's relatively still new out. Um, but there was some really good ones. The mask that the trash man wears was was quality. I quite enjoyed that now.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we
Um,
just kind of discovered that on a website and we're just like, that could work. So
I mean, to me, I'll tell you off screen. Actually, I'm not going to say here because I don't want to describe what the mask is because obviously you can't see it on the box or anything. So I'm trying my hardest here not to spoil it. But what were your best moments on set, Chris?
oh, the best moments on oh God.
I'm putting
Well, it
you out there now.
certainly wasn't the first day because the first day is never the best day on any set. Um, the first day is always crazy. Um, shooting the finale was really fun because a lot of people were there. Actually, Meredith was supposed to play a bigger part in the finale. And there's some stuff that we shot and it just didn't cut together right. So we had to let it go. But she was there.
Mhm.
Um, and that was just like a really wild night because we were shooting like the entire finale for the most part. Like there's a whole chase and sort of a fight scene and it was really cold that night and it had just rained, so we were all just on the ground, just dripping with mud everywhere. And I remember having the camera and I was like on the ground trying to film this thing. I was like, I'm so cold, but this is so good. I can't, like, I was so excited that the cold didn't really bother me until after we were done. And I was like, I am freezing. This is
Mhm.
horrible. So that's kind of like moments like that where, it's just the excitement and the adrenaline just takes over and those are the moments that I love the most. It's so much fun. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, it was a really fun shoot. I don't remember any major problems. It was pretty smooth. I mean, it was definitely. I mean, I remember we had to add a night at the location of Hope's house. I think we
Mhm.
were originally scheduled for 2 nights, and we didn't realize for some reason we planned everything, but we didn't plan the fact that it was going to be daylight savings time. So like the first week we shot, it was pre-daylight savings time. And then the next week it changed. And that was the week where we were going to shoot that stuff. And it was all night shoots for the most part there. So we were going to start at a certain time and it didn't get dark until later on. And
An hour
so
Mhm.
later.
yeah, so we were like, oh crap. And so that was fun to have to be like, okay, how do we fake this to where it looks like it's night, but it's really not? So there's like some interior shots that we could get before it got completely dark. So, but so that was like a fun little indie film, spur of the moment kind of thing you couldn't really plan, and it just, so it
Forgetting
it,
about
it
them
was
night savings.
yeah, it
Shame on
just
you.
completely slipped our minds. And we were like, damn it, we have night shoots. And we only had the location, I think, from like 6:30 at night to like 10 o'clock at night. So we had to squeeze in a lot in 3 nights. It was a lot of stuff.
Meredith, what were your best moments on set?
Honestly, I'm thinking the nights he's just talking about. Am I thinking right? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, that would have been AC's house, right?
Right, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
actually Cammie's grandparents or something, right?
Yeah, I think her cousin, I think. I think
Yeah,
I
I
think
just
her
Yeah,
remember
she
there was a
threw
grandmother
there
her
was
was
a
husband.
child at the end walking around
yeah.
and probably seeing things a child should not see. And I just remember being like, there's a there's a child. But that was like that both of those days that I was there were probably my two favorite days on set. I mean, I loved shooting at Tavern or the bar that
That
we
was
shot
fun.
in. Like that was fun because we were there whenever nobody was there. I
Yeah.
had only been there for the premiere of Children of Sin. So that
That's
was like,
right.
yeah, when we went there after. That was my
Yeah.
first time there. I've been a couple of times since. Honestly, I've had more fun the times I've been with you.
Oh. Well.
But yeah, those were just so great because they were just such like I mean, I went in the bathroom, did AC's 80s makeup and
Mhm.
like moments like that, just
Yeah.
hanging out, having a good time. The shooting was fun too, especially at AC's house. I don't know how much I can even say about that, but or Hope's house, excuse me. But yeah, I mean, though that if you've seen the movie, if you watch the movie, the scenes at Hope's house, those are my favorite types of scenes to shoot. That's so much fun to me.
Oh yeah.
I I very much enjoyed the difference in the way the movie goes. Some of it obviously starts off real happy, like some slashers starts off dark from the start and just holds that line. This one obviously picked up for that maybe half an hour to 40 minutes after the stories at the start, and I'm like, oh okay, here we go. It's getting a bit brighter now, and then it doesn't. um,
Unfortunately,
Doesn't.
yeah. Doesn't.
I thought it was very well done. Very different, as it says already, to Children of Sin. Um, like a complete 180 in terms of the style. So I was more than impressed to see that you'd obviously wrote and directed this one as well. I know you told us that you were getting ready to do another one. Um, I know it wasn't on the actual podcast. I think we were talking afterwards, and you'd said I have another idea in mind, and here we are 2 years later.
Yeah, I guess it
And
was this one. I don't know. I'm
We
trying to
had to have been,
remember.
right?
I would assume so, but I get all these ideas all the time, and some kind of are more fully formed than others. And I think I had started this one. It was I think a lot of the characters were the same, but I think it was going to be something like Caroline was genuinely crazy, and I think she
Ooh,
like started killing people, or so. It was a very different story, which could have still
oh,
been fun, but it was
yeah.
very, very different. I think it was called Empty Nest at that point because he was going to like leave and she was going to go
Mm.
crazy. And so it was going to
I
be
like
very, very
that.
different. So I don't
so
know.
that's the plot of the next movie now. Which
Maybe so. Yeah. I mean, why not? Any chance I can get to make Joanne go nuts is totally worth it because she does it better than anybody else. It's so
Oh
much
she
fun
yeah.
to
is
just watch her
she's
just lose it. It's great.
very talented, to be fair.
Oh, absolutely.
Very.
Oh yes.
So terrific.
Um,
Oh,
now, so before we jumped on screen, I had to put you onto the list of 2024 movies, obviously because it was released over here this year, right?
oh yeah. Hmm.
And I'd asked you what position you thought you were going to be in, right? Now I know it's
Yes.
difficult
Hmm.
because it's obviously your movie.
Right.
So for 2024 movies, I've seen uh, 16,
Just
right?
16 so far?
No, so 16 2024 releases. I've watched
Oh, okay.
69 films this year.
69. Okay.
Right. So I only rank the 2024 ones. I won't rank what I've seen before.
Okay.
Um, so I've watched 69 horror films. I've watched 34 of them were horror films, right? 16 of them have been released this year. So out of those 16, where do you think you rank? Now, bear in mind, they're not all horror films. I know this is going to be tough. So the movies I have are the Iron Claw, right? Beekeeper, Life of Bell, which is a horror film, Migration, Ricky Stenicki, Lift, Baghead, Night Swim, uh, No Way Up, Tahoe Joe, Roadkill, Amityville Ripper, There Will Be Blood, Desperate Souls, Gods of the Deep, and When Trashman Knocks. I don't know if you've seen any of them.
I I haven't actually. So I don't
I've
know.
heard of a
I
couple
don't
of
know.
them.
I'm gonna say we're number 14.
Meredith, want to have a guess?
I must be like somewhere in the middle and be like 10.
It's a safe bet. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I know we're not number one because that's Iron Claw. You already told us that.
yeah.
That's just going to be near impossible to beat for me. I think this year.
Exactly. We
From
can't
everything
compete
I've
with
heard about
that.
it, that sounds fair.
Yeah.
Um, so I have you in at number 9.
I was
Okay.
so
All right.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You win, Meredith.
Hey, what do
yeah.
I win?
You can be invited back to become a tied most appearance guest.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh,
There we go.
yeah, that would
Perfect.
be cool.
Perfect.
Shout out to my boy Cheney Morrow, who is in fact the record holder. He's been on the show 3 times.
Oh, nice. Just
Nice.
need one more time. One more time.
One more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Make
line
another
that one
movie,
up right now.
Chris.
Hey, I'm working on it. Right after we're done with this, I'm writing.
Hey.
Well,
My
we might get you
discipline.
back on for a chat about OnlyFans.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have obviously, when we done Children of Sin, we had the ranking score for that at 3.5 out of 5. Um, if you were to rank this movie, what would you rank it at? Out of 5.
Hmm.
See, I like putting the hard hitting question to the people. Obviously, you're biased because it's your own movie, but
Yeah, but I don't see. I like. I know I shouldn't say this because as a filmmaker, every film is your child, and you're supposed to love all your children equally. My favorite movie that I've made so far is Children of Sin. So, um, I'd give this like a 3 out of 5. It's good.
Meredith?
I enjoy it. It was fun to make, but I love Children of Sin a lot more.
You kind of read my mind, Chris.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah,
Just
I
like
did
you
too,
said,
but
we love them all.
yeah.
And I very much enjoyed the whole different vibe. But Children of Sin has a
Yeah.
special place in my heart. But honestly, Chris, my favorite one is still Triggered. It's still my
Oh
favorite.
yeah? Oh wow.
Yeah, it's
Well
still
that
my, I
was
mean, I
just a
love all of them,
yeah.
but
I mean that
I guess
was
because it
the
was our
first
first
one.
one.
The first
Yeah,
one and we were both learning so much. Oh my
we
God. I
were.
still have nightmares about that day slash night where we were at the church for what seemed like 15 years.
I think it was 15 years.
Oh my God, we shot like 50 scenes in like a span of like 8 hours one night. It
I
was
had to stay to
horrifying.
clean up.
God. Oh,
Oh my
I
God.
still haven't
I would
seen
never
Triggered.
do that now. I would never do that now. Oh my God. Oh,
That was
I
the,
get
oh my
tired
God.
thinking about it. And your poor
And
mom
I
was
was
just like,
afraid.
"Are y'all done yet? I'm tired."
I just remember I was afraid everybody was gonna hate me because that's just me as a person. And I was like, I know what I'll do. I'll spend up until 5 a.m. the night before a shoot making homemade cookies and bread because that's a normal thing to do. I showed up with
I
all
mean,
this food. I mean, it was good because we were there for so long, but I'm
Oh, we
sure they were
needed
all
it.
thinking, what the hell is
God.
this kid doing? And the 17-year-old kid stayed up making
Oh.
cookies. What?
God, and
And bread, Irish
everybody was
soda bread?
there. It was like
Yeah, the whole
everybody in the
cast.
cast was had to be there
Yeah.
that night, and it was so stressful because we were doing so much
Hmm.
work, and it was just oh, that was probably my least favorite night slash day
Yeah.
of shooting ever.
Yeah.
It was
No,
just
ditto,
so
ditto,
stressful. Oh my God. Oh
ditto. But
man.
to answer the original question, I'm with Chris about a three.
yeah, that's not too bad. I would agree with you. I think Children of Sin. Uh, I prefer Children of Sin out of the two of them.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm not sure why because the slasher should be the way I went.
Hmm.
There was just something about Children of Sin. I was like, yeah. I think it's the uncomfortable nature of
Yeah.
that whole making out scene where she
Mm,
tries to get
right.
you to make out with your brother.
Yeah, that
I was
Hmm.
whole
like, that when the movie makes you feel uncomfortable, I'm like, okay, so
yeah.
it's doing its job here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just I
Um,
don't I think there was something special about that one because we had just gotten out of like the COVID lockdown and I feel
Hmm.
like everybody was like jonesing to do something creative and I just remember
Absolutely.
everybody it was just like this great vibe on the set where everybody just instantly connected. It was the weirdest thing. I've never really
Yeah.
felt that on a set to that extent where it was like everybody understood the assignment and was having fun
Absolutely.
and it was just like the most thrill like that first week where we shot everything at the Abraham House location. I remember we wrapped that week and I was just like walking on cloud nine on the way back. I
Yeah.
was like, that was really good. I don't know if it's going to cut together, but it feels like that was really good stuff.
And it
Oh,
was.
and
it was. It turned out really great. I'm very proud of
I
that
I
movie.
I don't know if you know this, Chris, but I still see Lewis Hines, who plays my brother, every Monday at karaoke without
See, I,
fail.
I love that. I love it. He
Yeah.
just came by where I work, and I was like, "Oh my God, Lewis, this is so cool!" It's like every time, and that's really kind of why I wanted to make Trash Man was because I wanted to get everybody back in some
Yeah.
capacity, and I think pretty much almost everyone returned. I think there were maybe two or three that didn't,
Yeah.
but
I'm
besides
having a
that,
hard time
everybody.
thinking. It's
Yeah, it was
mostly
great.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
just was
mean,
like, I want to do something.
you see that quite regularly now, and I've said it to a few different indie actors. Like you see certain groups. Well, I do anyway because obviously I deal quite a lot with people that are working all together. And you see the same people showing up side by side with other people in certain movies. And I mean, if you've got a cast that works, why not use them? I mean,
Right.
Exactly,
they
If it
trust
ain't
exactly.
you,
broke,
you
don't fix
trust
it.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably get rid of Meredith for the next one now and get someone else in. But
Yeah. I mean, people are getting
Never.
bored of this one.
Never. I can't do it. I mean, it's gotten to the point where if I do come up with an idea, immediately I'm like, okay, what's Meredith gonna play? What's Joanne gonna play? Like, what is, what's
That's a good company to
AC gonna
be in.
play? I start thinking about like where you can place each person. And sometimes I'll actually like kind of be like, well, I thought of this character as a 50-year-old man. We could we could change the gender. We could lower the age. Like I start to think about that stuff. And I think it can add something to it that maybe it wouldn't have had if it had been done the way I first thought about it, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
I mean, like that works perfectly. As it says, you've got a group of people, a core group anyway, that you're more than happy to use over and over again. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. As I said, I've said it on many shows. Go to the well as many times as you can.
Mhm. Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
So before we finish up, Chris, have you anything else lined up or anything upcoming?
Well, I'm working on a script. Actually, I'm working on two scripts right now, and I don't know which one's gonna be finished first. But they're both really fun. They're both really one of them is something I've never quite done before. I've always wanted to do. I've kind of played around with it. I want to do a giallo, which I've played around with like the stylistic pieces of that before, but never in terms of the story. It's kind of a murder mystery and stuff like that. And then I have another one that I cannot reveal anything about because I really, even the title, because I think the title's great. I don't want to give that away. But it'll be very fun, and there's parts for everyone, and I think everyone will love their part because it's
Can I have a
basically,
part?
I mean, hey, if you want to zoom it, why not? Zoom on in.
I mean, we're doing another movie that, well, we're actually doing a movie that's coming out later on this year.
Oh yeah.
We have a voiceover work for it. Yeah.
Oh no. Hey,
Nice.
Shout
yeah.
shout out
Absolutely.
to my boy Jake Robinson. For My
Fantastic.
Brother's Keeper when it comes out later on in the year.
Oh, that's fantastic. I
Um,
love that.
um,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So you were saying you're doing the murder mystery script. Obviously, the two of you's done that murder mystery party thing that you did. You were saying the last time, didn't you?
Oh, the detectives.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. We we
yeah.
we we were doing those. We were doing Cletus, right? Were we doing
Yeah.
Cletus at that point?
Well, yeah, we were
Yeah,
doing Cletus like pretty
that's right.
regularly.
Yeah. That's
Um,
right.
I take it you don't do that anymore then.
Not that
I don't know.
show. No.
Yeah.
They just took that show off the roster completely.
I was
Huh.
wondering what happened with that.
It is
Um,
not done anymore.
it is not done anymore. Heard
No
that.
one, no one is doing it. No.
That's
And
crazy. It's such a funny
people love
show.
the show. We were
It's a
killing
crowd
it.
pleaser every time.
Yeah. We did not bomb one time with that show. What is going on?
Not a
I don't
single,
understand
not,
it.
and that is unheard of.
I know. This is
Like they
I
told
was
us that.
just yeah, I was just talking to Jeff about that, I think
I
last
love Jeff.
week, and I was like, why aren't we doing Cletus? We did really well with that show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm upset. It's a really fun show, but oh,
Yeah.
what are you
Um,
gonna do?
it is what it is.
I don't do it anymore because we thought I was gonna be gone by now. I've been trying to sell my
Right.
house for a while, over a year, but theoretically it hasn't closed yet. So keep your fingers crossed. It's not official, but I
Okay.
should be moving in no more than 2 months to Las Vegas.
Man,
Oh, you're sending her
So
to Sin City here. That's not good.
absolutely.
big Las Vegas.
Yes.
She's gonna,
So if
gonna get
everything
lost
goes
in the
well
bright
with the
lights.
sale. Oh yeah. Well, I'll be in 20 minutes from the strip, so I'm hoping the lights are a little
Oh
more dim
man.
there.
Oh gosh. Yeah, just watch
Um,
the movie Showgirls first as
I've
an
seen it.
example of what not to do.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do
Don't do that.
anything
But
that
if you
she
can
did.
find a showgirl,
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't tell you.
Oh,
I don't even know what to do.
it's an
lots of no
experience.
clothes. No
Yes. No one wears clothes. Whole movie,
one wears clothes.
basically.
I
I
don't think
mean,
they've been invented in this universe.
I don't think so.
I mean, um, when you first said that, I was like, is that the movie where John Travolta dresses up as a woman?
That's
Hairspray?
That's
Hairspray.
That's a
Hairspray. Yeah,
phenomenal movie. He
Oh
does
yeah,
I
that's
great.
mixed it. I mixed it
very
up.
different film.
I was like,
Yeah,
what
those
is he
are two
talking about?
completely different movies.
Meredith, have you had an upcoming?
I
Obviously,
do.
I mentioned the
I'm going to
OnlyFans.
be yeah, I've got a movie called OnlyFans coming up. It is think it's inspired heavily by like Lost Boys and there's a whole list that I looked at of inspired movies, but I don't remember. But Lost Boys, and I can definitely tell you where I see that. It's about a vampire, let's call them coven of like 3 to 4 vampire women, and they are kind of realizing that going around killing people to feed isn't necessarily the best plan when I don't want to spoil too much because something does happen to make them realize this, but they start OnlyFans, which is where they are like, we will feed on you and you pay us a subscription and you get to be fed on by hot, sexy vampires, you win. Um, and how that goes awry, or
I guess that's what it was going to be by the name and the play on the words.
yeah, I mean, there's more to it than that, obviously, but that's all I feel comfortable revealing.
Oh, I don't reveal anything that you might potentially get in trouble for. So
Right. I mean, I talked to the directors. It's a husband and wife team, and which I love. And they said I could say whatever I wanted, but I'm gonna still kind of.
I'm gonna say whatever I wanted. I filmed the movie. I die. Game over.
Well, it's in pre-production, and it'll be filming in July in the California area.
Nice.
Oh, nice. So you're going. Is that side? No, it's not side. You're on the same side if you're in Vegas, aren't you?
Yeah, I will be about 4 hours away. 30-minute plane ride.
Pretty good.
$50 round trip. Like, it's gonna be so
Perfect.
easy. Yeah,
Perfect.
like we're even probably gonna be filming on my birthday in July. So I asked my boyfriend if he'll come see me, and my mom, of course.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they were like, "Yeah, there's no reason we can't." And I was like, "Great."
That's gonna be terrific.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go get some vampire fangs and start filming some promo stuff for that tomorrow.
Oh, fantastic! Yay!
Yeah, they're encouraging us to make our own little character videos, and my character is very this artsy fashionista, which I have not been told and is nowhere in the script, but I feel like she was bitten in the 70s because she is a roller skating disco diva.
Oh,
and she loves French art films with a passion for French art films. Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, that's
too yeah, I don't know how to flare skate currently, but we're working on it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
If you don't do the Staying Alive dance on roller skates, I'm boycotting the film.
Look, man, I mean, as long as they can get copyrights to the song, I'm down.
You don't even need the song. Just going along. You can have
just do that. Yeah, just have it going.
Meredith, why are you doing that? Because Greg told me to do it.
Yeah, that's why. And I'm like, who's Greg? You don't know?
You'll find out.
You'll find out.
I'm sure he'll come knocking at some stage for an interview.
Yes.
And then obviously the Stoke River Haunting was the one that you were getting ready to film.
Yeah, to be completely honest, I don't really know what's going on with that. I had a great time on the shoot. It looked like it was going to be great, and I'm hoping it's still in post-production. I just kind of haven't heard anything.
Oh, fair
but
enough.
It looked like it was going to be great, and I'm hoping they're still working on it.
I haven't obviously, you'll know more than I do, so
yeah.
I just know that was the last time we were speaking. You were kind of doing that at the stage, and I seen some of the videos you put up.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be really cool. And I want to say back in like, gosh, maybe December, maybe a little more recent, they were posting stuff about it, and they hadn't posted anything in a long time before then. So that's what gives me hope that it is still in post-production, and they're just thankfully, taking their time with it, making sure it's perfect.
Good. That's the right way to do it. You don't need to rush it out.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Just look at the lads that done Grave Encounters. It took them 2.5 years to get it out.
Oof. Wow.
Long time.
Same Paranormal Activity was the same, I think. That was another ridiculously long time. The director wanted to make it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's better than having them movies that get rushed out.
Absolutely. Oh god.
But
oh
folks,
yeah, absolutely.
I'll call it there for the evening. But Chris, Meredith, it's been a pleasure to have you back on for the second visit. This time as a duo act rather than one-on-one. And you are welcome back absolutely anytime.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
You.
You're most welcome. As I says, I like keeping people that have been on the show around that. I tend to converse with most people that I've been on the show with.
That's great.
But as it says, you're welcome back absolutely anytime. Even if it's not to promote a movie, you just want to come on and say, "Oh, I've seen this movie. Can I come on and review it with you?"
That would be fun.
Hit me up.
Yeah.
And Scream is already done though, Meredith. Sorry,
Oh.
Ted claimed that. But yeah, I'll finish this, folks, the way I finish every single Friday night. In the words of the great George A. Romero, ladies and gentlemen, stay scared.
Woo!